how thankful I am that we have the opportunity to play. What our guys and the staff, not just my staff, but the staff here at Oregon State, the things that we've been through the last 8 months has been really tough, obviously for everybody across the world, but to see how this department and everybody came together to get to this point makes me so proud of where I get to work each and every day. So thanks to everybody that had a part, our medical staff, training staff, the facilities people, our administration, the custodial crew, total team effort. Okay. Not a thing of beauty, but man, we were really worried about Cal. They have become one of the more physical teams in the league under Mark Fox. And that was our big challenge to our players, was to win that battle. And we did a nice job on the boards. And that was a telling stat for us. Offensively, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of one-on-ones, which weren't designed, weren't planned, but we finally, in stretches, got that thing together, executed, shared the ball, and that's when we had our nice little runs. Defensively, especially from our veteran guys, too many breakdowns, losing shooters, not talking on handoffs and screens. But you know what? After the amount of time off, the fact that we were a little short on depth tonight with some injuries to a few guys that couldn't play, we couldn't ask for a better thing. This is way better for us than, a 30-point, win against whoever would have been. So there you have it.
One of the things that really seemed to stand out was 3-point shooting defense. You guys were, that was a big thing coming into the season. They were 6 out of 25. I wondered, you thought that was pretty good tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we did lose a couple of guys one time off an end line out of bounds, which we don't do in the first half. We just, a couple times we made the wrong decision against their shooters. We went under ball screens or under handoffs, but by and large, I want to think we did a great job there, but I also, I know Cal hasn't had the amount of time on the court that we have, so they probably might not be in their, normal form they would be at this point. And I want to make that clear, but I'm proud of the guys' effort and the energy to that end. We just will have to clean up some mistakes on some coverages here as we move forward.
It looks like you got a lot of possibilities out there with all the players that you rolled out there today, just different things you can do.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I thought we were shorthanded too. I mean, when we add Gianni and Tariq Silver, De'Aaron Tucker wasn't thinking about playing because he sprained his ankle, and we knew we needed his physicality for a few minutes. So we get those guys all healthy across the board, then I do think that will be a strength of ours.
You haven't had a guy under the boards like Andela in a while, have you? Just a guy that's so physical and can really make things happen under there.
Yeah, we knew that's what we were going to get from him. That's something what we really targeted with recruiting. And as he moves forward, he's a guy that can score the ball a little bit too. And we love his hustle, his effort, and his physicality. They kind of had their way with us a year ago in the paint, and with the combination of Roman, Tuck for a few minutes, again, he sucked it up through a tough ankle and showed us something. And then Rodrigue, we feel like we can be a more physical presence as a group inside than we've been.
Do you expect to be at full strength soon?
Hopefully, we're going to target the Washington State game. Hopefully we'll have. But even then, we probably won't have the guys that have been out, practice more than maybe a day or so. So, when we have guys that are practicing regularly across the board, we'll feel good about it.
Wayne, you got some good contributions from Warith. Can you just kind of describe what his game is all about?
Well, he's a high-level athlete and very skilled player with a great IQ too. He understands. Like I was ready to get after him a couple of times, and he already beat me to it. He knew, the mistakes he made, maybe defensively, only a time or two, but his length and athleticism and the head that he has on his shoulders, we knew that those characteristics made him a special player. We're going to challenge him just to keep improving and getting better as we move on with the season. And even Maurice Kalu kind of helped us early on. Mad at himself because he had a couple of turnovers, but he hasn't played at this level in basically 2 years. But he hit some shots for us. You feel good when the ball's in his hands offensively. You saw him in the middle of our press breaker when they tried to pick us up a little bit, and then his size too. So those two at the 3 and the 4 for us, we feel really good with them.
Wayne, just overall, you'd be able to be back on the floor, man, with your kids and them have some happiness of playing what they came to school to do, to finally do it.
No, you're exactly right. And here's the other thing. We don't know how long we're going to be able to do this. So we had a great little visit from President Alexander at shoot around today. And he kind of echoed what I had said to the team earlier, that we more than ever, we've got to make sure we give it everything we have whenever we're on the court, because we don't know if, or when it'll be taken away. And it was really just, it was reassuring, but a really good feeling to know that we were going to be able to be rewarded for everything we've done right as far as the protocols, following those, continuing to work and do the things we asked the players to do to see them get the reward of playing was great. And you know what, if there's somebody out there that's struggling a little bit with everything that's going on, and by us taking the court gave them a little bit of a shining light or a glimmer, we hope that really turns things into, just a blinding fire of excitement and hope for the days ahead for all of us, whether it's regarding basketball or anything else.
Wayne, was there any special thing that you had to get, a waiver or any kind of paperwork to get this game against Cal to be a non-conference game?
Yes. Well, yes. We, originally we had Colorado State, and we were just going to play Colorado State and Northwest. And then when they had to pull out, we were searching high and low until almost noon today, because there's been so many games canceled, trying to get somebody else to come fill in. But our administration did a great job of following that waiver process. Monday, I believe it was, in the case that we didn't find another team. And it's the last thing Mark and I wanted to do, was play each other in the non-league and open up a season with a league opponent. But, I called him the other night and he said, "Tink, we need to play. Our guys need to hit the court. They've been through a lot and it's not ideal, but you know what, forget everything else. Let's get our guys on the court." So it was great to do that. All right, we got some players.
Wayne, it wasn't.
I appreciate it. Jesse, you got one, Jesse, quick?
Yeah, obviously, Wayne, it wasn't a perfect finish by your guys, but what did you see out of your team in those last couple minutes?
Well, I thought it was a perfect finish from the standpoint that, we let things slip away by some mistakes we made on both ends, but then we got stops and made free throws, not all the way down the last few minutes, but we made game-winning plays on the defensive end. And so that's gonna bode well for us. I mean, it's great to learn those lessons in a close game like this and against a tough opponent, like I said earlier, versus, having a runaway game. So, proud of the guys. It wasn't a thing of beauty, but we did make the plays down the stretch to pull it out, and that's all that matters. So thanks, gang. Go Beavs.
All right, any questions for Jared?
Jared, you had some bright spots from your first year teammates there. Is that just kind of what you guys have been seeing in practice out of those guys?
Yeah, we've seen a lot, especially from the new guys. I could say some of myself, back in the summer. With my trainer, I worked with a lot of NBA guys. War without TJ's NBA guys. He's a real deal for us.
Jared, what was that like playing Cal in a non-conference game? Did it feel weird at all?
I wouldn't say that it felt weird. I would say it was good for us. I think Coach Tinkle talked about it, just being able to get out on the floor. But playing another Pac-12 team, opened up our season on a win. Obviously, they might not have had as many practices as we did, but we know that we were projected last place, and it's a great way to win this first game.
What was running through your mind, before the game started? Just, it's been 8 months, I guess, since, we've been going through this. And I just wonder what was kind of going through your mind before this thing started.
Before the game started, I think it was a lot of excitement in our locker room. You could tell a lot of guys were excited, enthusiastic, because, for the most part, a lot of us were off for, at least a month with gyms not being open. Guys that just had to work out in their backyard. So being able to hit the floor was good.
Coach Tinkle talked about those game-winning plays on the defensive end at the end of the game. You feel like that's kind of where you guys want to start with, is on defense?
Yeah, definitely. Like Coach mentioned, we got a lot of length in the paint this year, and then our guard play I think is pretty good. So it definitely started on the defensive end. We're looking to push the ball a lot more this year, and I think we did that. All right. Ooh. Yeah.
All right, questions for Warith?
Warith, how did you feel in your first time out there?
It felt great. Felt great just being out there with my teammates after putting in all that work just to be out there. Felt great.
And to be able to finish off the game like you guys did, especially on the defensive end, is that something to build off here early in the season?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is there any sort of feeling of just being grateful, being out there, after everything everybody's gone through the last 8 months? Or is there another feeling that you had going into this one?
Sir, yes, sir. I really appreciate the game. Just like being away from it for so long, you start to gain appreciation like when you don't get to play it.
All right, thanks everybody.